Wassail Beautiful People. So yesterday I popped into Lisbon on the train, and I found a bookshop that was open. It wasn't my intention, I went for something else, but I managed to get a new Oracle deck. It's a Colette Baron-Reid and it's Sabedoria Oráculo do Oráculo. It's all in Portuguese, which unfortunately I'm not very good at, because when you're in a country and it's lockdown and people are all masked and they're 2 meters away, it's quite hard to pick up the language. So this is going to be fun. Let's have the bells to cancel out the hammering. Oh, there's suddenly a lot of noise. I want to say disturbances, energy disturbances. This is like that stellium bells again. So I'm going to have to watch the cards with the wind, because the wind's trying to pick up the cards, but it's nice to have the sunshine out after 3 days of rain. And let's see what the cards would like to talk to us about. Oh, they're slippy. This is only my second reading with them, and I haven't tried to look through them, so I don't even know what the image is on. Ooh, there's some kind of truth coming out. I'm going to pause and just look at the one card. Mensagem numa garrafa. That's a message in a bottle. A message in a bottle, 15. What am I getting from this? I'm getting the sense of the stork is carrying the message. It's trying to pick it up. The bottle has a telephone in it, and it has kind of a sense of transformative higher heart chakra energy inside this bottle. The stork carries a telescope, so seeing into the distance, but this emerging from some kind of emotional depths going on. Storks also represent a return, because the idea is they fly away and they return to nest, but it's also about birthing, because storks are famous for bringing babies. So what else would you like to say with the message in a bottle? What else would you like to say with the message in the bottle? I've got to stop touching the table. We're very much on a bit of a sort of piratey nautical theme going on here. Gonna have to put the cards in the singing bowl. The wind's really trying to blow them away, so let's pop them there while we deal with them. And a new life. 939. So we've got an Isle of Treasure, and we've got a new life. So in my head, I'm hearing, what do you treasure? What do you really treasure? What in your bigger picture with the turtle floating around, what would you like to have brought to you energetically that would bring you a new life? It's some kind of, the message in a bottle is almost talking about like a wish from childhood, something that very long ago was an important part of something to do with your life, and that somehow it got dropped, it got lost, it got pushed away, it's almost like it got pressed down deep into your emotional ocean, and it's being brought back up. It's your treasure chest. It's that sense of the Neptune bringing forwards dark energies from deep below, but inside, when you open that shadowy chest, there's all this wonderful light and energy inside, and it's bringing this energy of a new life, almost waking from this COVID, waking from this last year, coming through this tunnel. Remember, all the planets have been compressed into one area of the zodiac, and they're beginning to open out now as they kind of all move into new frequencies. There's an awful lot of noise going on over there for a very quiet neighbourhood. Sounds like somebody's sanding down the outside of their house. So let's see what we have here. Oh, they're saying to me you're not noticing. I am noticing. I'm listening. 939. This one is 15, which is 6. 639. It's the Tesla code. This is a divinely intended energy frequency that's being brought towards us. So let's just give these a shuffle. They came out a bit fast. Let's see what comes around this 369 Nikola Tesla magic code. It's the notion of the frequency of everything around you changing and being given the gift. The message in the bottle comes from the divine to bring us some kind of treasure. So we kind of want to know, what is the message in the bottle? What is the message in the bottle? What is the message in the bottle? Oh, it's Empress energy. We're on another 3. And this is... I absolutely love this card. It's so beautiful. Rising from the sea in such incredible power. So she's coming across as Ran, which will please Michael. But it is this energy of her. She has her hand just bringing up the treasure. She's delivering the gift to the turtle to help us see a bigger picture as we're moving forwards. There's very complicated energy going on at the moment. The the Aries stellium that just took place has been kind of adding fire to things, and there is that sense of this need for water and emotions, and that's very present now. The sense of look, treasure chests, they come from the bottom of the water. They're drenched in emotions. Oh look, there's a little bug just landed on my hand. You have to go away, Mr. Bug, because I'll hurt you. So the bug wants to give this notion of the thing landing. Just suddenly this new treasure just landing in your hand. Something, it's a gift. It's a gift from Spirit. So what else can we find out about this wonderful gift from Spirit? Bye. So we have the moon. And we have the Queen of Chalices. Look, this is... What's the gift? We're not telling you. But it's something incredibly emotional. Really wonderfully rich. Something... I'm getting that sense of something that you forgot. They want to keep saying it's something about your childhood aspirations that you forgot. And actually, it's really interesting. Cindy told a lovely story the other day on her birthday, and then there was a link to an audio tape of all the little children whose voices were recorded that came out of that box. And it was wonderful to listen to, because the children's end question was, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's almost that energy. It's that sense of, what was it that you wanted as a child that you forgot about? Because I'm getting this sense that the moon remembers, Ran remembers, because it's in your treasure chest. It's in your store of memories, and it's something that you've forgotten to do. or you've just let go of. You've believed it was just some kind of childish fantasy, and there is this real sense of trying to bring this energy back to us, to all of us. Look, it's not often we get a reading where the energy is of something just being given to you as a gift. This isn't go down and search, face a dark shadow. This is just go and remember things from your childhood. Remember things that made you happy. Remember things that made you feel alive. Because when we're children, we have a much better connection to spirit. Sorry, as soon as a card falls, I'm just looking at it thinking, do I actually understand what that one's talking about? This is Aliceres. 28. It's a completion and a new beginning, but this is it's Lego, I want to say. It's childhood games almost, that energy of building something again, returning to something very old and building it again. It's like all of the each cube is hidden and contained within your treasure chest. It's like these are everyone's. It's like it's kind of talking about the hopes and the dreams of everybody having been suppressed somehow. You know, when we're children, we believe in magic, and then very quickly we tell children that magic's all a big hoax, and they should stop believing in it and grow up. And I never stopped believing in magic. I always believed that it was there, but we were just being told that it wasn't. And that, to me, it's the adults that were failing themselves, because they weren't giving themselves their dreams and their wishes. And we have this wonderful card that comes across as like a world card. It's an 11, and again, this is the frequency in the center of the earth grid. Again, we've got this sense of the pixelation. It's almost like in order we raced, we headed so fast to reach adulthood, I want to say, to grow up. We were forced into growing up and losing the magical awe-like wonder in which a child sees the world. I mean, I still see the world quite often very much like a child. I'm amazed and I stare in wonder at tiny things that appear. But this card's also, it's about lost dreams today. It's telling me that we raced to grow up and we lost the building blocks that we spent so much of our childhood working on. And they're very simple things. Last year in lockdown, I watched a small child of about 3 in the park, and there was a very ornate gate, and it had metal spheres of different sizes on. And I watched how this child looked at the objects, and then the child put his hands on the sphere, and then he pulled his hands away and looked at the next smaller sphere and put the same size hands down there, and then moved them in to see the difference in size, so that the child was trying to work out the difference between visual perception of size and the touch, the feeling that the different sizes gave as you moved forwards and engaged with the object. And I said to his mother, I said, it's really fascinating. And she said, that's really interesting that I'd observed it, because she said that's what they're doing with him at the moment. They're talking about the concepts of big and small and large and little. So it was lovely to see a child in kind of wonder and awe at something very simple. But they're all part of these building blocks that we go through to help us to understand the world. And it's a magical world at that point. Everything's wonderful, but then somehow we get told to sort of stack them all up, put them all on the shelves, and then run forwards. It's a lovely bird. And then run forwards, kind of letting go of all those childhood dreams, and we've got to wake back up to our dreams. So let's go back to this deck. It's all big energies. This is the star, the healing. She looks in a mirror. You need to look yourself in the mirror. This is a new theme that keeps coming up. We all need to understand who we are and exchange places with who we've become, and try and remember back to things we were once that we suppressed, or that even were frightened out of us, or whatever it is that pushed away your dreams so long ago. It's somehow the energy of re-establishing them. And we have the Eight of Wands. But I want to say that this is like building a new self, because the structure, the eight wands that we have around this card, it's a building that's going to protect you, but you need to put a new skin around your future plans to create something comfortable. But the point is you're your own interior designer. You're the person who decides the fabric of your existence as you move forwards, because we are approaching a very beautiful eclipse tunnel, and I will be doing a special reading to do with eclipse tunnels to help us all to get through that. The one thing I would say is I was going to say, have a look at Gemini, and here is the card that's coming out and saying Gemini to me. So I want you to go to your natal chart, and I want you to look at the planets that you have in Gemini, if you have any. If you don't worry about that. It means that the eclipse period is not going to be something so profound maybe, or stressful, or difficult, or energetic to go through. So for me, I only have Black Moon Lilith there, so I feel that during the eclipse tunnel it's not going to be such a problem. But this really is about exchanging the version of who you've become with who you once thought you might like to become, but got lost on the way. And this is fabulous. Look, it's the 9. So it's like, I'll do it that way around. Decorate. It's talking about decorating your own sacred space, building something new for yourself, connecting with your old dreams, but choosing which part of those old dreams will serve you for the future. I mean, look, if you wanted to be an astronaut as a small child, it's possible that that's not going to happen right now, but there's an element within that might be a fascination with space. So it could be that you need to re-engage with things on the other side of the cosmos. There's wonderful people out there describing amazing discoveries all the time to do with the cosmos. There's a lovely guy called Anton Petrov, who I've spoken about before. He does really, really wonderful ways to kind of bring very complicated energies down to a level where we can all begin to understand them. So can we have a little bit more information about this message in the bottle, the dream of what we wanted to be, what we're going to be in the future, moving through this tunnel in Gemini, of the lunar eclipse to the solar eclipse. So the lunar eclipse is on the 26th of May and the solar eclipse is on the 10th of June. I want to say that the lunar eclipse will also, if you're getting your natal out, the lunar eclipse, the full moon, takes place in Sagittarius at about 5 degrees. Have a look in Sagittarius as well on your natal. I'm giving you this information now because when we get to this tunnel, I'd like you to have already thought about what houses, what things you have. Again, I don't have anything in I don't have anything in Sagittarius either, so maybe I'll just doze through the eclipse. So can you please give us some more information about what's coming? There's a lot of cards. The joy of life is what's coming. I mean, look, there's a new life and it's joyous. I mean, it's just really beautiful, wonderful, lovely energy to engage with, and it's all linked to the moment from now as we move through. We've got a full moon coming up soon in Scorpio. That's about death and rebirth. That's about changing over things. And then there'll be the new moon in Taurus, and then we move on to the full moon in Sagittarius at the end, which is the lunar eclipse. Breathe. Oh, you see, breathe. Where's the one that came over earlier that said to me, breathe? Where's the card that said breathe? I'm sure there was one that was said breathe. I've had breath in my head. No, sorry. It just must be that they put it in my head earlier. So, breathe. We've got to come back out and breathe in this new life. We've got to unlock this new frequency. 29, we've got another 11. This is gifting from the earth grid to us. And then we've got 17 and 18. One is As Moiras, or Ash Moirash, and the other is Feliz Acacio. So this is very much reminding me of the 9 of fire in the Good Tarot. It's this selecting, this healing. It's very much star energy. It's like it's almost like if you just return to your childhood dreams, you can't fail to have some kind of wondrous moment. Look, eclipses are like going into a space out of time, because they're very profound magical tunnels that take place, and they bring really interesting energy to us. They bring excitement, they bring something new, but there's a sense that during eclipse seasons we all need to just chill out. It's like a fortnight of joy as we move from the darkness back into the light, and that's the important thing. Sometimes the eclipses are the other way around. They begin with the light and they push you into a tunnel of darkness. And I'm going to put in a link to the reading I did back in Faro about the Janus Geminus, because that's the Roman temple in the Saturnalia thing that we covered, that talks about this space, this passageway in ancient Rome that was originally a temple to Saturn and became the temple to the two-headed god Janus, who's to do with time, seeing before and seeing backwards into childhood. See how lovely. And then this one's just coming over as being carried by luck, being lifted and floated by that sense of clover. And clover in Lenormand represents a very small piece of luck. It doesn't mean that this treasure chest, which we did have for definite, it doesn't mean that this treasure chest is something vast and magical. It could be something very, very tiny, but there's this sense of breath and wind. Once you get a tiny piece of clover, in a lawn, growing in the grass. You just can't get rid of it unless you dig up the whole lawn and remove it. This is a tiny piece of magical luck that's going to land, and once it's landed, it will stay with you, and it will grow, and it will spread out, and it will bring something completely charming, something so beautiful. So, a little bit more. How is this luck working then in this? How's this luck working in this tunnel? How's this luck working in this tunnel? That's really interesting. Again, Gemini energy with the 2, but this is more, I want to say this is Neptune and Jupiter. It's really coming across as Neptune and Jupiter. They both carry swords. They've both got this sense that they're in air energy, that they've moved into a different epoch. So when we have the lunar eclipse on the 26th, Jupiter, who's been in Aquarius with Saturn, and Saturn is, Jupiter's father as such, when we get to this lunar eclipse, you will find that Jupiter would have moved into Pisces with Neptune. Now, in the old classical system of houses, Jupiter, because you only used the planets that you could see with the naked eye, and so Jupiter has more than one home, and its second home is in Pisces. In modern terms, since we discovered the additional outer planets that couldn't be seen until we had telescopes, it became the home of Neptune. Neptune's at home right now in Pisces, and Jupiter will join at 1 degree and 11 minutes at the point of the lunar eclipse. So I'm getting that sense that this is kind of this gift that's coming, that's, again, Ran is a representation of water. She's the water goddess of Norse mythology. It's like she's working in conjunction with these two to just bring something wonderful to us for a change, to offer something new that we can all really enjoy. So just a final card. I say a final card, it'll probably give me 12. Can we please have a little bit more final message? Can we please have a final message? It feels so, it began with all that noise, the reading, and there is a little bit of noise in the background, but it really feels like throughout this, it's that sense that we're moving into something much more beautiful, much more calm. Can we please have one final message? Can we please have one final message? Oh, you see, it's dropped about 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's given me this card that's damaged. And I would go back to the shop and exchange the box, but do you know what? I'm just going to take the cards and keep this piece of damage. It's there for a reason. I noticed it because when I was shuffling the first time, I pulled it out to look, and it's actually Pensador or Pensador, and it's to think, but it's the fact that it has the pen at the beginning, and that being my surname, made me feel I needed to hang on to it as a frequency. So it's think about the blocks. It's reminding me to go back to this. Think about the blocks, and oh, you see now, that's interesting. These things, these childhood dreams that you boxed away and then ran to grow up from, sit down, think about them. Use this time now to work out how you would like these old dreams to heal part of you. And we've got this wonderful caravan of 12 and 11. Os ventos maduram, and seguir a regras. I've got no idea what that means, but the frequency that I'm getting is building a new sacred home. It's repeating this energy of the two rods. With your old dreams, you can rebuild your caravan. You can bring forwards things from childhood and you can make them grow and you can build them into a new, wonderful, sacred space. It's like earning your stripes, as they would say. And there's a real sense of, there's a very tiny fairy. We've got north and south. Oh, this is talking about eclipses. So the first eclipse is over the North Pole. The second eclipse will be over the South Pole. So this is just stage one of the eclipse giving gifts. And there will be more. And then we have 36, ir ate au limite. It's kind of like understanding your limits. It's these limits were imposed by society and by ourselves on our childhood dreams, and it's made the world in which we live incredibly small. And there's this idea of petals being butterflies, being poppies, being dreams, because the poppy represents opium, and is often used in tombs to represent the idea of going into a deep sleep, going into a deep reverie, deep within the recesses of your childhood mind, and refinding those frequencies. Oh, that's so lovely. And then we have ser justo, justice, to bring balance. It's like we're all out of balance because we've neglected to bring forth the goodness of childhood. So one of the other messages that's now being filtered in through those cards there is that notion that in terms of justice, it's much easier, the balance, for us to remember traumas. We're all very good at thinking about the damaged inner child, and that's something which we've all had to deal with. That was Earth Epoch energy. Now we're in Air Epoch. It's that message again of try and remember the great things about your childhood. Remember, look for those, and they could be tiny. That's again that clover. But replant your clover, or water it. That's what it's saying, water it. I get it, thank you. Water it. That's what all the water was at the beginning. The clover, the dream, is still inside your head, but you need to nurture it back to life. And it will fill your vessel. It's yin. It's the energy returning to create something new and wonderful for you. So, that's so lovely to just have a message of an approaching time, 26th of May to the 10th of June, in which something wonderful can happen. So, wassail, beautiful people. Speak soon.